Welcome to my video on opioids. Opioids have been used throughout history and are still being used today in modern medicine primarily for its analgesic effect. Or to put it more simply, they are used as painkillers. Opioids decrease the perception of pain as well as increase our tolerance towards it. Drugs such as morphine have been synthesized from opioids to help patients deal with this pain. Opioids come from the term opiate, which refers to the natural alkaloids found in the resin of a plant named the opium poppy. To make sense of all of this, opioids basically refers to opiates, which are alkaloids found in a plant, and synthetic substances synthesized from these alkaloids. Opioids also have numerous side effects, such as sedation, respiratory depression, constipation, and most notably, a strong sense of euphoria. Opioids are also often abused outside of medical practice for its euphoric sensation. Certain substances, such as heroin, have been purposely synthesized to abuse the effects of opioids. So, how do opioids work? Well, opioids attach to the opioid receptors found in our brain. Normally, these opioids are the indigenous variety that are created naturally in the body. Once attached, they send signals to the brain of the opioid effect, which blocks pain, slows breathing, and has a generally calming effect. The body cannot produce enough natural opioids to stop severe or chronic pain, nor can it produce enough to cause an overdose. Opioids can activate receptors because their chemical structure mimics that of a natural neurotransmitter. The similarity in structure fools receptors and allows the drugs to lock on and activate the nerve cells. Although these drugs mimic brain chemicals, they don't activate nerve cells in the same way as a natural neurotransmitter, and this leads to abnormal messages being transmitted throughout the network. Opioids target the brain's reward system by flooding the circuit with dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter present in regions of the brain that regulate movement, emotion, cognition, motivation, and feelings of pleasure. The overstimulation of this system, which rewards our natural behaviors, produces the euphoric effect sought by people who misuse drugs and teaches them to repeat the behavior. Our brains are wired to ensure that we will repeat life-sustaining activities by associating these activities with pleasure or reward. Whenever this reward circuit is activated, the brain notes that something important is happening that needs to be remembered and teaches us to do it again and again without thinking about it. Because drugs of abuse stimulate the same circuit, we learn to abuse drugs in the same way. So I can't give you a personal illustration of how opioids work, but here's a narration of the how and why of heroin addiction.
Actually, this is an obvious question, but it's not what you might think. Let me explain it to you. I've been an opiate addict for a long time and tried many drugs. Drugs that are uppers have the most obvious euphoria. For example, if you take Adderall, Coke, meth, speed, MDMA, you will get this shining, bright euphoria, self-confidence, energy, and other drug-specific feelings. For meth, like you are king, or for MDMA, like you love everyone. However, you owe these drugs back what they delivered to you. After a meth binge or lots of MDMA use or staying up all night on Coke, you will feel like shit. To an extent, this aspect is similar to an alcoholic hangover. On the other hand, for many people who experiment with heroin, they are just underwhelmed, not including IV usage, but most experimenters rarely ever IV first time. They just feel good, chill, happy, but they feel like this spooky drug heroin hasn't delivered. They are just mellow. Oh, obviously it has all been a lie, they will think. Heroin isn't spooky, it's chill. It's not addictive like everyone else thinks. It doesn't make you do stupid shit or stay up all day and hallucinate like amphetamines or coke. It doesn't empty your serotonin like MDMA or give you a hangover like alcohol. People tend to just think, oh, what a nice drug. So the next day they wake up and everything is normal. No headache or shitty feeling, just a slight afterglow of that nice feeling. Oh, it was cheap as well. It only cost $10 for a whole night of being high. I thought people said heroin was expensive. And then next weekend comes. There are all these drugs I could do, but I liked heroin. It didn't fuck me up. I could still think clearly. No hangover, no feeling like shit later. I still was awake. It just made me happy and content with life. Oh, and it's only $10. Well, I should get some more for the whole weekend. This is great. I will use heroin on the weekends now. Now, let's say this person works and has responsibilities. He knows he can't go into work drunk or on MDMA or high, so he doesn't. It's actually simple. But heroin, well, the user might actually find they do better work on heroin. Instead of being sad or grumpy or depressed with his job, he is just happy, mellow, content. Everything is fine and the world is beautiful. It's raining, it's dark, I woke up at 5:30 a.m., I'm commuting in traffic. I would have had a headache, I would have been miserable, I would have wondered how my life took me to this point I'm at right now. But no, everything is fine, life is beautiful, the raindrops are just falling, and in each one I see the reflection of every person's life around me. Humanity is beautiful. In this still frame shot of traffic on this crowded bus, I just found love and peace. Heroin is a wonder drug. Heroin is better than everything else. Heroin makes me who I wish I was. Heroin makes life worth living. Heroin is better than everything else. Heroin builds up a tolerance fast. Heroin starts to cost more money. I need heroin to feel normal. I don't love anymore. Now I'm sick. I can't afford the heroin that I need. How did $10 used to get me high? Now I need $100. That guy that let me try a few lines the first time doesn't actually deal. Oh, I need to find a real dealer? This guy's a felon and carries a gun. He can sell me the drug that lets me find love in the world. No, this isn't working. I need to quit. To answer your question, heroin feels nice. That's all. It just feels very nice. You can make the rest up for yourself. Attach your own half-truths to this drug that will show you the world, and for a moment you will feel as clever as Faust.